Just a second.
Yes.
Vanshika, now please start.
Okay. A very pleasant afternoon to all. I, Vanshika Vasti, along with my co-anchor Jeremy, welcomes you all to the 12th day of this prestigious workshop on Value Addition, Life Skills, Ethics, and Human Values, convened by our head of the department, Professor Dr. Kumkum Ray. We can improve our own and other people's quality of life by incorporating these elements in our lives, promoting a lifestyle that is more satisfying and fulfilling.
Value addition is the method involved with improving one's life by acquiring and applying significant fundamental abilities, moral standards, and human qualities. Definitive thinking, correspondence, decisive responding, and navigation are several capacities that can make up central capacity and help individual with actually crossing the challenges of everyday life. People can update their own and capable life and gain more noticeable headway and fulfillment by cultivating these skills. Moreover, moral assume a urgent part in deciding moral choices and activities, guaranteeing that people can act ethically with genuineness and sympathy for other people. Regard, genuineness, sympathy, and equity are the underpinnings of peaceful society.
Yesterday, our guest speaker, Professor Dr. Mala Tandon, spoke on the topic SEER, a simple but effective way to manage stress. So it described and elaborated on the different ideas and methods that we can use to reduce stress. By becoming more aware of the stressors in your life, how one can respond to them emotionally, and how one can change his or her perspective on them, which in return leads to reduction in stress and improvement in our overall well-being. We are honored to introduce our Professor Dr. Kumkum Ray, who is the founder director of the Institute with 48 years of teaching experience. She has a Cambridge Honours degree from Lady Shri Ram College, Delhi University, and a remarkable PhD thesis on Anglo-Indian nationalist poet Henry Louis Gibbon de Rosio, for which she received the Best Thesis Award. She is a tremendous educational social activist. It's our privilege to have her as an inspiration. Let's warmly welcome Professor Dr. Kumkum Ray.
Good afternoon. I'd like to edit. Yesterday, the speaker was Dr. Nirja Pandey, who really made a simple and very effective presentation on stress and how there is good stress in eustress. But if it is a stress that constantly gives you fear and anxiety, it becomes distress. Today, we are really very delighted to have Dr. Jayanti Srivastava with us, who has been one of the members of the initial growth of Amity universities, whose contributions have led to so many success stories of students. And in spite of her busy timetable, her schedule for classes, she has always been a big support and a big knowledge sharer with Amity School of Languages. I welcome you, Dr. Jayanti, and on behalf of all the participators and ASL, I'm so thankful to you.
Thank you, ma'am,
Thank
for
you,
your
ma'am. Thank
motivational
you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your motivational words and guidance that you bestowed upon us. You are an inspiration to all of us, and we have always learned so much from you. We thank you that you shared your valuable experience with us. Someone rightly said that the wise man is his own master. He is not controlled by his senses or emotions. He is free to choose his own path in life. Vedic knowledge is a vast and complex body of wisdom that offers insight into the nature of reality, the purpose of life, and the path to self realization. It can be a powerful tool for self management, helping us to cultivate greater awareness, mindfulness, and compassion. By applying the principles of Vedic knowledge to our lives, we can learn to live more consciously, ethically, and spiritually. By studying the Vedas and applying their teachings to our lives, we can learn to live more harmoniously with ourselves, others, and the world around us. With this, I would like to invite Professor Dr. Jayanti Srivastava. She is an active member of our community and has been involved in a variety of social activities and freelance assignments. She has organized events to promote fitness, women's rights, and education. She has also spoken at events and given presentations on a variety of topics, including journalism, human rights, and terrorism. Dr. Srivastava is a talented actress and dancer too. She has performed in several plays and dances. She is also a freelance consultant and has worked on projects related to education and adolescence development. In addition to her social activities, Dr. Srivastava is also a successful academician. She has been teaching at Amity Business School since 2004 and has a PhD in management. We recommend that you pay close attention during the session. At the end, all attendees will be requested to email responses to a few questions based on the talk. Only after submitting the assignments will you be eligible for the participation certificate. Now, I would like to ask everyone to join me in extending a cordial welcome to Professor Dr. Jayanti Srivastava. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you very much. Honorable Director, Amity School of Languages, distinguished faculty members, and very dear students. When I say distinguished faculty members, they are very dear to me. As ma'am rightly said, Amity School of Languages is very close to my heart since the inception. Students, first of all, I'll tell you that it is not, my session might sound you a lot of preaching, but it's not preaching. I would be sharing only the things which triggered my life and which is very, very helpful in managing self. So before I begin, I would give you an assignment in the beginning. Just keep it in mind. You all need to tell me at the end of the session that, just hold on. Can you all see me? Yes, all right. So the assignment is that all of you need to tell me one quote. It might be a line of a poem or a spiritual quote or a Sanskrit shlok or anything that comes to your mind first when you face a crisis. That nobody knows, only you know. And you know that this quote helps me every time when I face crisis. This crisis could be like I was supposed to reach somewhere at 9 o'clock and it is already 9 at home and I know that I'll take 1 hour to reach there. That means I am 1 hour late. So that one quote everybody will tell me at the end. So now I formally begin and thank you very much. When ma'am said that I'm invited or she's thanking me, no, it's nothing like that. Dr. Kumkum Ray's command is my wish. Thank you, ma'am, again. So I start here with your blessings. My topic is Vedic knowledge. We all are not expert in this. I am not an expert of Vedic knowledge, but I'll tell you, having a little acquaintance of this subject, I can tell you that there are many things which we face in our daily lives, how we get motivated and how we manage self. So self-management through Vedic knowledge, through different spiritual things, we will try to understand. I share my experiences only, and that perhaps, if motivates one or two, my purpose would be served. Now, what is self-management? That you all know, but why there is a need to talk about self-management? Modern times, things have changed. Friends have changed. Relationships have changed. Cheating has become very common. We all are running in a rat race, reaching nowhere. So these are the things where we need to see where we are. Are we managing ourselves happily? Are we satisfied? Or we are just completing a task at the end of the day and we are not reaching anywhere. We are not finding anything. The day is just like any other day. So that is the need of the hour that we realize that how to manage ourselves in the happiest manner. Now the point comes, is being organized or unorganized is what we mean by self-management. Like we tell each other, I'm very organized. The other person says, no, I am little unorganized. Is it something we are talking about self-management? No. The being organized or being unorganized is a byproduct of self-management. Self-management, you need to realize where you are not supposed to organize yourself. You are just sitting alone, but you are so restless. Are you able to handle yourself? A bad news comes. You receive a phone call, you receive a message. Are you able to console yourself? That is where we need to manage ourselves. How we will do that? In the process of life, since our childhood days to this age, we learn. We learn many things and we relearn those things. So learning and relearning is important. But at the same time, it is also very important to unlearn things. Now there we need to manage self, because once it is said, oh, ye to aadat hai. So how you would unlearn those things which are giving you trouble every day, which are becoming a reason for pain. So how to do that? Because it is very easy to say, "Arey bhul jao, chhod do." How to do that? We can forget for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 3 days, but again it bounces back. So unlearning is also one of the processes, very important processes of self-management. There are many, but some of the things I would talk about. Modern times, आज का देश, आज का समाज, what is the fight? हमारी आज की fight है between धर्म and अधर्म. Every time you talk about your university, you talk about your home, you talk about your community, your society, your peer group, your friend circle, the competition, everywhere, the survival, the happy moments, everywhere the fight is of dharma and adharma. Now, what is dharma and adharma in this modern time? Is it code of conduct, which we are supposed to abide by? Is it our fundamental duty? Is it fundamental right? The law and order prevailing in our country? Or is it the social norm? You have to be back home by 11 o'clock in the night at any cost. Or our self-beliefs. That particular society is very good. We have evolved with this thought. Or beliefs of a particular community. The girls will not go to do a job outside their hometown. Belief of a community. So we need to understand that what is dharma and adharma. That you need to understand by yourself. Because of your surroundings, you need to do this exercise. You need to undertake this task, because no one else from outside will come and tell you that this is dharma and adharma. Education is doing its job. They are telling you, they are teaching you, everybody involved in that. The kind of diversity you have in India, very difficult to talk about the dharma and adharma. You have so many communities, so many religions, so many systems, communities within communities, societies within societies. So how to handle this diversity? And we are just a small thing in that diverse system. So I myself, how to adjust in that system? Because at home I have learned something else. When I go to study in school, university, I learn some other things. When I go to a professional place, some other thing. So everywhere I find the definition of dharma and adharma being different. That's the biggest challenge for myself. There I need to manage self, that too with my head held high. So self-management is important because I need to maintain my dignity. Otherwise, there is no need to manage self if you are ready to compromise. But I tell you, nobody is ready to compromise. There are situations. But if you are able to fight with those situations, you can live your life happily. So try to manage yourself. I'll give you one example since young crowd is in majority. Now we are talking about removing 377 section, which talks about, which bans homosexuality in India. We are often talking about live-in relationships. Is it a social disorder? Is it adharma? Some people, a sect of society will say no. So then we need to decide. We need to understand what is right and wrong, what is dharma and adharma for us. Because you have to see that your life is managed by you only and is not driven by external factors, which may appear to be very lucrative, but for a shorter period. Right? I'll tell you that I was conducting a viva and there was this student of mine, not a very bright student. Am I audible?
Please switch off
Yes,
your
ma'am.
other phones and mics because there's disturbance coming. Someone is talking over their system.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. So yes. So I was telling you that there was this student of mine. I was taking the viva and he was not a very bright student, not a very disciplined one, also an average student. So I asked him that we were talking about stress and everything. So I said, what is the way you adopt to, combat the stress? He said, ma'am, spirituality is the best way to combat the stress. I was not expecting this answer from him. I was touched and I was so impressed that a student who does not appear to be very sincere, very, above average, but he is talking about this. So that means he was managing himself in the situation of crisis very well. So that was a lesson to me also, that students might be doing it. And that's a lesson for all of us, that spirituality can help us managing self very well. And that is what we are going to talk about the today's talk. That is, there comes the role of Vedic knowledge and Vedic guidance in our lives. Now, mythology. You all are aware of mythology. Mythology has always been a very special thing in all our lives, especially in the childhood. It has a special significance in our cultural system also. Our ancestors knew it very well. They knew the importance of knowledge since ancient times. And they only not acquired it for themselves, but they transformed also to their future generations, transmitted also. So that is the biggest gift what we have got from our elder generations. When the writing skills developed in the Vedic period, gradually it developed. This knowledge of long years was included in Vedas. Thereafter, the most important phenomena, or you can say phase, came in. That was the Guru Shishya Parampara. Guru Shishya Parampara brought in the value of Upanishads. So now I used two words, Ved and Upanishad. Now Ved, when we say Ved, means knowledge, Gyan, which you acquire by reading different epics, different Granth, different religious books. Upanishad, the basic concept of Upanishad is When you sit with your guru, that is teacher, mentor, and acquire knowledge, that is Upanishad. So whatever has been written in different Upanishads, it is when the Shishya, when the pupil was sitting with the teacher, the mentor, and it was all written, then it is called Upanishad. So all these Vedas and Upanishads, they are originally in Sanskrit. Sanskrit is, if I'm not making an overstatement, is the richest language of the world. Ma'am will guide me if I'm wrong. So, but all got translated afterwards in English, Hindi, and other languages. So the basis of all these is the language called Sanskrit. Now, if you talk about Vedas, we have 4 Vedas, very important. That is Rig Ved, Sam Ved, Yajur Ved, and Arth Ved. Rig Ved is supposed to be the oldest. Rig Ved is in poetry form, and Sanskrit, all Sanskrit bhajans are there, incorporated in that Rig Ved. Yajur Ved talks about different yagya, mantras, what we recite in daily life. Samved is Sangeet. So it is said that the chirping of the birds, the water sound, whatever the natural sound was there, from there the idea of Sangeet came up, and it all got incorporated in Samved. Arthved talks about the material things of life. And the most important part of Arthved is the medicinal knowledge it has. And that time medicinal knowledge, when we say, we are simply and only talking about Ayurveda. Right? When it comes to Puran, we have 18 Purans. Purans again are knowledge sharing of different things, different aspects of life, different religious aspects. So there are Brahma Puran, how the entire Srishti evolved, the world evolved. Vayu Puran, Bhagavad Puran, Narad Puran, Matsya Puran, Garun Puran. So there are 18 in total. What is the basic concept of Purans? They are incredible. Incredible storehouse of education. So the basic purpose of these Purans are also imparting education. So the question about that, we got our Purans from a very, very tough issue. It's a very, very tough issue, it seems, but it is not. It teaches us most complicated things of the entire creation, how we evolved, how the entire Srishti evolved. They also share that ethical values, the geography, how this entire geography developed, astronomy, political things, culture, social tradition, science, Gyan talking about Vigyan, astrology, Ayurveda, philosophy. सब जन्म मुझी से पाते हैं, फिर लौट मुझी में आते हैं. The philosophy of life as told by Lord Krishna. The eternal nature of Puranic education has made it very precious and important. It is very precious. It was very precious, and I'm sure it will forever be very, very precious and important for each one of us. Now, the very favorite and very popular Ramayana. Ramayana teaches us the modern values. Ramayana teaches us the chapters of leadership. So for you students, if you think you are a leader at your home, in your class, in your community, in your peer group, you have to learn certain things from Ramayana. Like if you are storing your skills, your all Shakti, competency, you do competency mapping, you know where you are perfect, but you are not using it. So just like Hanumanji, when a mentor, a guide tells him, reminds him of his power, Shakti, हनुमान जी ने समुद्र को उड़कर पार कर लिया. So it may be a significant thing for you that you might be knowing your competency, but you are not using at the right place. And if your mentor is telling you, trust him, trust her, and think that yes, you can also do the same thing. You can also fight the crisis and do the best in your life. There is another example of Nal Neel. Nal Neel, वो जो दो वानर थे, बहुत शैतान थे. सारे पत्थर जो है वो बहा देते थे समुद्र में. तो एक ऋषि ने उनको श्राप दिया कि आप जो भी पत्थर अभी बहाओगे समुद्र में, नदी में, वो डूबेगा नहीं. दिस वॉज अ कर्स गिवन टू देम बाय अ सेंट. कभी दिया गया. लेकिन जब ये इंस्टेंस आया, when श्री राम was supposed to go to श्रीलंका, सागर पार करके, तो उस पर पुल कैसे बनाया जाए आप सबको पता है. ये जो छुपी हुई उनकी जो कर्स था, that turned out to be an opportunity. उनका जो ये कर्स था वो एक अपॉर्चुनिटी में बदल गया. और उनके मेंटोर को ये बात पता थी, तो उन्होंने ये कहा कि हम लोग नल और नील को यूज करेंगे. उनके इस स्किल को यूज, इस कर्स को अपॉर्चुनिटी बनाएंगे और सारे पत्थरों को उनके द्वारा हम सागर में बहाएंगे. हनुमान जी ने उसमें अपनी श्रद्धा में ये ऐड किया कि हम हर पत्थर पर श्री राम लिखेंगे और राम लिखकर वो पत्थर बहाएंगे. एंड रेस्ट यू नो दैट अ ब्रिज वाज कंस्ट्रक्टेड. तो इसमें दो लेसन हैं. देखिए कैसे नल और नील के, आई टोल्ड यू द कर्स टर्न्ड आउट टू बी एन अपॉर्चुनिटी इन दिस सिचुएशन. और दूसरी चीज, अगर हनुमान जी को आप देखें तो हनुमान जी ने अपने विश्वास, किस पर विश्वास? प्रभु श्री राम पे. तो आपके लिए योर मेंटोर कैन बी योर गॉड. तो अगर इफ यू फील सो, तो अगर आप, जैसे उन्होंने राम का नाम लिया, ऐसे अगर आप अपने मेंटोर पे ट्रस्ट करेंगे और वो जो कह रहे हैं करेंगे उसको विद दैट फेथ, then nothing is impossible for you. But the only thing is, whenever we talk about Vedic knowledge, whenever I am sharing my views with you, my experiences with you, you know, one thing is very important, that you have to trust. Unnecessary arguments will not lead to anywhere. So you have to have the trust on your mentor, और जिस पर ट्रस्ट है उसी को मेंटोर मानिए. सबको मेंटोर नहीं माना जाता है. नॉट एवरी टीचर इज योर मेंटोर, नॉट एवरी एल्डर सिबलिंग इज योर मेंटोर, बट यू नेवर नो वेयर यू विल फाइंड अ मेंटोर. आई फाउंड माय मेंटोर इन माय फादर. यू मे फाइंड योर मेंटोर इन योर डायरेक्टर. सो जिसको भी आप मेंटोर माने, फिर ट्रस्ट करें. ठीक, तो ये एक लेसन हम रामायण से लेते हैं. फिर दूसरा आता है, इसमें आप स्वॉट एनालिसिस कर सकते हैं. रामायण में कैसे स्वॉट एनालिसिस किया जा सकता है, और बहुत सारी चीजें उसमें आपको मिलेंगी. तो आप अपनी स्ट्रेंथ को पहचानिए. जैसे कॉम्पिटेंसी गई, सेम वे कम्स द स्ट्रेंथ ऑल्सो. जब हनुमान जी श्रीलंका में गए, तो जो उनका एक्चुअल स्वरूप था वो उसमें नहीं गए. उन्होंने क्या किया? ही रिड्यूस्ड हिज साइज टू अ वेरी स्मॉल मिनिएचर फॉर्म में गए. तो इसका क्या लेसन है कि मिनिएचर फॉर्म में गए? फिजिकली अब हम लोग तो टर्न नहीं हो सकते इन द फॉर्म ऑफ अ मिनिएचर. इसका मतलब ये है कि आपको जरूरी नहीं है एवरी प्लेस यू टॉक बिग. कहीं कहीं पर फॉर विनिंग, it may be a winning formula also, you need to lay back. थोड़ा पीछे जाइए, थोड़ा सा शांत होइए, थोड़ा सा अपनी चीजों को छुपाइए. प्रिपेयर योरसेल्फ. So the Lord Hanumanji's turning into a miniature form signifies that what we can do, we can also prepare ourselves. पहले एनर्जी एक्युमुलेट करें और उसके बाद हम नए क्राइसिस के लिए तैयार. तो दिस कुड कम आउट आफ्टर द SWOT analysis. Another thing is that you have to value your team. When I say team, I am not talking about the classroom team which you make for your presentation. This could be one of the examples. But you can talk about the team of your family. Family is a team. You can talk about your best friends. You are 4 friends. Treat them as your team. तो always value your team. और कैसे value करेंगे? 4 of you are there. Someone is good in one thing and the other one is good in other thing. कोई किसी चीज में अच्छा है, कोई किसी चीज में. Instead of pointing out the mistakes or merits or demerits, you need to complement each other. तो अगर वो आप करेंगे तो यहाँ पर जो वैल्यू ऑफ टीम है, जैसे कि रामायण में शो किया गया है, पूरी वानरों की टीम बनी और कैसे श्री राम ने अपना जो उनका टारगेट था उसको अचीव किया. तो वो ऐसे किया कि उन्होंने ही वैल्यूड ईच मेंबर ऑफ हिज टीम. So same way you need to understand, you need to identify your friends and then only make the team. Don't make a team just for the heck of saying that we are a team. If you say we are a team, then we are a team. वहीं पर देखिए रावण के पास भी बहुत अच्छी टीम थी. All knowledgeable people, शक्तिशाली, strength, competent, but he never valued them. और जिनको वैल्यू करना चाहिए था, like मंदोदरी, his wife, और रावण के नाना जी. These two were the people who always showed him the right path, who always tried to criticize, guide him at different instances. But he never gave any weightage to what they were telling him. तो यानी कि आपने अपने जो वेल विशर्स थे, आपकी जो टीम थी, उसको वैल्यू नहीं की और उनके जो क्रिटिसिज्म थे उसको अच्छे से एक्सेप्ट नहीं किया. When you value your team, it becomes your duty to accept the bad things also. So these are some of the teachings which I have learned from Ramayana, and I expect if I'm sharing, you would try to understand a couple of things. Then comes Mahabharata. If you talk about Mahabharata, महाभारत में भी एक मेंटोर आपको मिले in the form of Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna helped everybody. अगर आज की कॉन्टेक्स्ट में हम देखें तो ये आपको भी देखना चाहिए. इफ यू आर कॉम्पिटेंट, कॉम्पिटेंट मीन्स इफ यू हैव द कैपेबिलिटी, इफ यू हैव स्किल्स और इफ यू हैव मनी, प्लीज कम फॉरवर्ड एंड हेल्प द नीडी. आज की डेट में देखो आपको बताया जाता है गो फॉर कम्युनिटी सर्विस, गो एंड डू दिस, गो एंड डू सम सोशल वर्क, गो एंड डू सम चैरिटी. You know, these all are the concepts coming from your Vedic knowledge, from all these big grants, epics of our country. तो वहां से ये चीज आई है कि कैसे आप स्किल अगर है तो स्किल से हेल्प करिए, अगर आपके पास मनी है तो आप मनी से हेल्प कर सकते हैं. एंड माइंडेड स्टूडेंट्स, आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट बिग हेल्प, छोटी छोटी सी हेल्प. बिकॉज इफ यू विल मेक इट अ हैबिट, if you inculcate it, it will become a habit, and then you will feel very good in yourself, and you will feel that now I am managing myself somehow. It will automatically happen. It will become an ongoing process. Then you need to adopt the right strategy in life to manage yourself. You need to see that if I have somebody, if you have many people in life, you need to take a right move. You take example of your mother and father. Your mother will do certain things for you and your father will do certain things for you. In return, you need to see that where your mother needs your help, where your father needs your help. So in return, if you will be able to, but then you will be, when you will be able to identify, once you understand their needs. And if you are able to take help, because you know, it is also very important. Helping others is very good, but it is also very important to know that when I need help of others, and if I approach somebody, I am not disappointed. So this is my kala, to identify people in my life that if I am in crisis, who is going to stand by me like a rock. I took example of parents because they are the people in our lives always standing by as a rock. But then you need to understand कि इस चीज के लिए I'll approach my mother, इस चीज के लिए I'll approach my father. But in return, you should also be ready that I should also help them. This would be a process of helping each other. It will start from the family, but when you will come out of the family, it will start with your friends, with your seniors, with your mentors, with your peer group, and most importantly, in your professional setup, where you keep on hearing neck throat competition. But even in that, you will find very good people. You will find people who will help you and whom you would like to render help. Right? So this is one thing. Second, you should not neglect anyone. Even if somebody is giving you pain, don't neglect. Learn, understand that why this person gave me the pain. What was the reason? Introspect. If you introspect and if you find a reason, try to resolve it. At least give it a try. If you are not able to do, then try some other time. Try after a month. Because, day by day we grow. So maybe keep it written somewhere in your diary. If somebody gave you a lot of pain, and after every month, open it and see that can I handle it now? Maybe that 1 month gave you some of the experiences with which became a tool to fight with that. So that could be one of the lessons again from Mahabharata. Now we talk about Gita. I'll just talk about one shlok that is of chapter 3 and the shlok is 35 that I'll read. Yato dharme nidhanam shreya par dharmo bhayavah. That means the glory is in practicing own dharma, which includes individuals' unique duties, responsibilities, and righteousness. इसका मतलब है आप अपने धर्म का पालन करें. धर्म, again I told you, the good things, the right things, the code of conduct, the fundamental duties. आपकी अपनी. कैसे होगा? उसका एक jurisdiction होगा. क्या jurisdiction होगा? Gita is very, very contemporary. At the same time, you can say if you correlate with your modern times, you will find it extremely relevant. तो जब आप jurisdiction की बात करेंगे तो family में आपका jurisdiction family है. बाहर आते हैं तो आपका jurisdiction आपकी society है. University आपका jurisdiction है. Then you grow, you go to a professional setup, your jurisdiction changes with that. तो अपने धर्म का पालन करते हुए, even if you feel that you fail, face it happily. Face it with pride. इसमें कहा पर धर्मो भयावह. लेकिन दूसरे का धर्म जब आप पालन करेंगे और उसमें आपको विजय भी मिल रही है, तो वो आपके लिए पेनफुल होगी. भयावह मीन्स बहुत ही डरावनी होगी. इसका क्या एग्जाम्पल हो सकता है? अपना धर्म तो आप सबको पता है कि आपको क्या करना है और क्या नहीं करना है. बट फॉर एग्जाम्पल आप किसी ऐसी सोसाइटी में मूव करते हैं, किसी ऐसी कंपनी में वर्क करते हैं, जॉब करते हैं. Although it is, I am again not preaching, you have to take your own call. जहां पर कुछ ऐसा आपको करना पड़ा, आप बिल्कुल भी टोबैको के फेवर में नहीं है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, ठीक है, आपने बचपन से अपनी फैमिली में भी नहीं देखा, यू आर नेवर इनटू टोबैको प्रोडक्ट्स, और आप उसको किसी भी तरह प्रमोट करने के फेवर में नहीं है. Somehow you, while working in this company, job on rotation and all that, one day comes when you are made the head of that tobacco division. Now your prime job is to give the company A, the growth in sales. B, you have to adopt innovation, new techniques to promote. अब वो tobacco related products बच्चों को भी बेचे जा रहे हैं, youngsters के पास भी जा रहे हैं. You know that it is very, very harmful. And you are, suppose you are 30 years of age. So since childhood till this date, you have practiced, you have made up your mind that I am not in favor of this tobacco products. अब आपके लिए ये एक सिचुएशन आएगी जिसे आज की डेट में मॉडर्न टाइम्स में यू कैन कॉल एथिकल डिलेमा, जो हमारी गीता अध्याय 3 श्लोक 35 में कहती है कि स्वधर्मे निधनम श्रेय परधर्मो भयावह। अब ये धर्मो भयावह का मतलब यहाँ पर ये है कि जब हम उस कंपनी में गए और हमें ऐसी सिचुएशन मिली तो ये उस कंपनी का धर्म है। अब यहाँ हमें डिसाइड करना है कि हम उस धर्म में रहते हुए विनिंग जीत की तरफ जाए या हम अपने धर्म को स्वीकार करते हुए अपने इनर वॉइस इस एथिकल डिलेमा से कैसे बाहर आए। So these learnings are again for an individual to decide. Students, at the end of the day, you need to take a call. That means you means I, me, myself will only be responsible for my deeds, right? So this is one example from Gita. I'll tell you, coming in the modern times, talking about the apex law and order in our country, that is Supreme Court. The Supreme Court's logo has a Sanskrit inscription on it that underlines the dharma in Indian judicial system. Sanskrit inscription in Supreme Court's logo that says, many of you would be knowing, Yato dharma tato jaya. Where there is dharma, there will be victory. Many of you would be skeptical about this and say, oh, this is not practiced. But you know, students, we have to set ideal things. Then only we will decide this was bad, this is good, this is bad, this was good. So whenever youngsters say, ऐसा कहीं होता नहीं है, ऐसा होता है, ऐसा सेट किया गया है, ऐसा नहीं होता है, तो क्यों नहीं होता? Because you and me don't follow it. We are responsible. So, Honorable Supreme Court's Sanskrit inscription underlines the significance, which says, where there is dharma, there will be the victory. Yato dharma tato jaya. तो ये आपको भी adopt करना है कि जहां धर्म है, the right path will take us to the winning. Philosophy of right and wrong. एक लॉ में बड़ी फेमस, आई टीच लॉ सो आई कैन टेल यू, बहुत फेमस चीज है, व्हेन नोबडी इज वाचिंग समबडी इज वाचिंग. तो जैसे स्टूडेंट्स कहते हैं क्लास में कि अरे तो क्या हुआ मैम, रूम खाली था, एक चोर आया, पंखा लेके चला गया, किसी ने नहीं देखा. नो, ऐसा लॉ में नहीं होगा. इफ नोबडी वॉच्ड, देन एट द सेम टाइम समबडी वॉच्ड. और वो कैसे होता है फिर? then it's a legal education. But mind it, whenever you say nobody is watching, somebody is watching in law, and in philosophy, when nobody is watching, the supreme power is watching you. वहीं पर कॉन्सेप्ट आता है राइट और रॉन्ग का. इसीलिए सुप्रीम कोर्ट के संस्कृत इंस्क्रिप्शन में लिखा है, यतो धर्मा ततो जया. One more device I would call it, ध्यान. ये भी आपकी वेदास से निकल कर आया है और आजकल बहुत पॉपुलर है. पॉपुलर क्यों है? क्योंकि अब शायद हमारी जो पूजा पद्धति है, मंदिर जाने का सिस्टम है, जो प्रॉपर एक डेली रूटीन की पूजा और प्रेयर्स है, वो शायद अब हम उतना रिलीजियसली मेटिकुलसली नहीं कर पाते हैं. तो ध्यान क्या है? मेडिटेशन. It is a device. It is like a software. नेटवर्क आता है उसमें. वो नेटवर्क क्या करता है? कॉस्मिक एनर्जी से आपकी बॉडी की एनर्जी को मैच करता है. Many of you would be doing meditation, so I'll not talk about it much. But this is what happens. ये आया कहां से? The concept of meditation. ध्यान. ये इंडिया है वो कंट्री है जिसने योग और ध्यान को पूरी दुनिया में फैलाया. और कहां से आया? फ्रॉम आवर वेदास. वैदिक नॉलेज से आया. वैदिक नॉलेज थी तभी हमने मेडिटेशन को अडॉप्ट किया, तभी हमने ये समझा देयर इज दिस कॉस्मिक एनर्जी, देयर इज दिस बॉडी एनर्जी which will match, the network will match and you will evolve yourself, right? और ऐसा नहीं है कि सिर्फ वैदिक नॉलेज, when we say वैदिक नॉलेज we cannot forget our poets, literatures जिन्होंने बहुत ज्यादा कंट्रीब्यूट किया है। मैं सिर्फ एक करूंगी, हमारे इंडिया के जो नेशनल कवि रहे रामधारी सिंह दिनकर जी, उनका बहुत सारा है, प्लेंटी ऑफ वर्क, बट आई जस्ट से वन लाइन, उनकी रश्मि रथी जो कृष्ण की चेतावनी का बहुत फेमस एक लाइन है कि जब नाश मनुज पर छाता है पहले विवेक मर जाता है। सी, ये भी एक बहुत मोटिवेटिंग है, विच मोटिवेट्स मी। जब नाश मनुज पर छाता है, इट मीन्स when evil forces lead you, Manuj is human being, Manushya. When evil forces lead you means dominate you, पहले विवेक मर जाता है। विवेक is your discretionary powers, your discretion to judge something, to judge, again I would say right or wrong, right? तो वो कहते हैं, रामधारी सिंह दिनकर जी राष्ट्र कवि हमारे कहते हैं कि जब नाश मनुज पर छाता है पहले विवेक मर जाता है। तो इविल फोर्सेस आपको डोमिनेट तो कर रही हैं, इसलिए हम तो गलत कर रहे हैं। अरे हमारे तो सही कुछ समझ ही में नहीं आया। क्यों नहीं आया? क्योंकि आपका डिस्क्रिशन नहीं रहा। द डिस्क्रिशनरी पावर्स यू हैव टू जज राइट और रॉन्ग got finished, got over. क्यों? You allowed it. कई बार आपने सुना होगा कहते अब भैया I can't help you in taking a decision, use your own discretion, use your discretion. विवेक, वहीं पर आपको जरूरत है कि जब आप बैठिए और खुद डिसाइड करिए this is right, this is wrong, come what may, I will follow my mind. I'm not preaching you to go for the right thing or wrong thing. You have to decide. Mind it again. You and only you, I, me, myself will take the decisions for myself. So you will take the call with your own discretion. तो ध्यान रखिए कि जब नाश मनुज पर छाता है पहले विवेक मर जाता है, तो विवेक को मरने नहीं देना है, अपनी डिस्क्रिशनरी पावर्स को नहीं मरने देना है। And then rest assured that no evil force will dominate us, right? एक बचपन का श्लोक है जो मुझे बहुत पसंद है और मैं हमेशा इसको बोलती थी, मैं आपके सामने भी सुनाती हूँ। ये चाणक्य नीति है, लेकिन तब मैं नहीं जानती थी कि ये चाणक्य नीति है। ये शाम न विद्या न तपो न दानम ज्ञानम न शीलम न गुणो न धर्मम ते मर्त्यलोके भुवि भारभूता मनुष्य रूपेण मृगाश्चरन्ति। ये शाम न विद्या, जिसके पास विद्या नहीं है, नो एजुकेशन, न तपो, तप मीन्स तपस्या, तपस्या मीन्स विच यू आर डूइंग एज स्टूडेंट्स, इतनी देर से बैठ के हमें सुन रहे हैं, राइट? ये तपस्या है। दानम, दानम मीन्स help, you don't help anybody. ज्ञानम, no knowledge, no शील, शील means decency नहीं है, गुण क्वालिटी नहीं है, ना धर्म है, ना राइट और रॉन्ग को जानने का डिस्क्रिशन है। ये शाम न विद्या न तपो न दानम ज्ञानम न शीलम न गुणो न धर्मम ते मर्त्यलोके, ते इज प्लूरल टेंस, वो सब मृत्युलोक इसको कहा जाता है। ये जो दुनिया है, द वर्ल्ड इज नोन एज मृत्युलोक। भुवि भारभूता, भुवि द अर्थ, भारभूता बोझ, इस धरती पर सब बोझ है। किस, कौन लोग? जिनके पास न विद्या न तप न दान न ज्ञान न गुण न धर्म। मनुष्य रूपेण मृगाश्चरन्ति, मनुष्य के रूप में, वी ऑल आर ह्यूमन बीइंग्स, लेकिन चाणक्य नीति कहती है मनुष्य रूपेण मृगाश्चरन्ति, है तो सब मनुष्य रूपेण, लेकिन सब यहाँ मृग है, सब हिरन है, मीन्स जानवर हैं जो बस चर रहे। तो इसमें एक लेसन बहुत बड़ा मिलता है कि ये शाम न विद्या न तपो न दानम न ज्ञानम न शीलम न गुणो न धर्म, इन सब से हमें न हटाना है। तो ये शाम न विद्या नहीं, अब एशाम विद्या तपो दानम ज्ञानम शीलम गुणो धर्म, एशाम है हमारे पास होगा, वी विल लर्न, वी विल ग्रो। स्ट्रेस, मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा था सुनकर, आप लोगों ने बताया था दैट योर लास्ट सेशन वाज ऑन स्ट्रेस एंड इट वाज अ वेरी इंप्रेसिव सेशन, and the entire 12 days workshop is being done to improve the quality of life. I'm sure it is going very well. I could understand ma'am told that stress session was very good. So stress, your mentor yesterday must have told you many things to talk about stress. बट एक वेद की एक चीज आती है, वो मैं आपको बताऊंगी। कहा जाता है, देखिए, इट इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू प्रैक्टिस एंड एक्सरसाइज, बट इट इज सेड दैट हाउ टू रिमूव द स्ट्रेस। एक चीज ये है, डाइवर्ट योर पेन, ऑल्दो वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू प्रैक्टिस, डाइवर्ट योर पेन। हरिवंश राय बच्चन जी, जो हम सबके फेवरेट अमिताभ बच्चन जी के फादर, लेट फादर, इनका एक एनेक्डोट है, मैं आपको बताती हूँ। हरवंश राय बच्चन जी राइटर थे, कवि थे बहुत, इंग्लिश और हिंदी ही हैड इक्वल कमांड ओवर बोथ। तो वो राइट हैंड से ऑफ कोर्स लिखते थे। तो क्या हुआ, उनके राइट हैंड में बहुत ज्यादा पेन था, अनबेरेबल शूटिंग पेन। तो अब कुछ कर नहीं पा रहे थे एंड ही हैड टारगेट्स टू कंप्लीट। और फिर एक बार जब माइंड फ्रेम था, ही वाज सपोज्ड टू राइट एंड ही वाज राइटिंग बट इन पेन। So he was not able to manage. Again, देखिए कैसे उन्होंने सेल्फ मैनेजमेंट किया। ऑफ कोर्स कहीं से नॉलेज इम्बाइब की, बट फिर वही बात कि सेल्फ मैनेजमेंट हैज टू बी डन बाय सेल्फ। तो उन्होंने खुद किया। क्या किया उन्होंने? दिस इज एन एनेक्डोट टोल्ड बाय अमिताभ बच्चन इन वन ऑफ द इंटरव्यूज, राइट? सो व्हाट ही डिड, उन्होंने एक बॉल लिया, उसमें पानी भरा, और पानी भी कैसा, बॉइलिंग वाटर, बट बेरेबल। बॉइलिंग वाटर लिया, उसको अपने लेफ्ट हैंड साइड पर रखा और राइट हैंड से लिखते थे। तो जैसे ये हमारी डायरी और पेन है, इससे हमने ऐसे कुछ कुछ लिखना शुरू किया और धीरे से, बहुत धीरे से, ग्रेजुअली अपना लेफ्ट हैंड धीरे धीरे उस गर्म पानी में डालना शुरू किया। पहले थोड़ा सा डाला बिकॉज बहुत गर्म था, थोड़ी सी उंगलियां, फिर धीरे धीरे उन्होंने वो, ही टॉलरेटेड एंड ही डिड दैट। उन्होंने अपना पूरा हाथ उस बॉल में डाल दिया और राइट हैंड से वो ऐसे करके अपना लिखना शुरू किया। बाद में जब पूछा गया होगा उनसे, तो मिस्टर बच्चन, अमिताभ बच्चन ने बताया था, तो उन्होंने ये कहा, इट्स अ कला, इट्स एन आर्ट टू डाइवर्ट द पेन। पेन वाज इन द राइट हैंड, और अगर मैं वो गर्म पानी लेकर उसको सिकाई करने बैठ जाता तो मेरा 1 घंटा वेस्ट हो जाता। And you all are language people, you know how important the creativity is, and especially when it comes in your mind, you need to write immediately. तो उन्होंने कहा, ये 1 घंटा मैं गर्म पानी में हाथ करके बैठता तो मेरी क्रिएटिविटी का क्या होता। तो मैंने अपना उतने गर्म पानी में अपना लेफ्ट हैंड इसलिए डाला कि सारा इस हाथ का पेन, गूज़बम्स आते हैं जब ये सुनो, इस हाथ का पेन लेफ्ट हैंड में डाइवर्ट हो गया। I told you it's very difficult to practice, but it's a real story, and that too from a very senior and knowledgeable literature. तो कैसे आप सेल्फ मैनेज कर सकते हैं, और ये चीजें किसी से शेयर करने की भी नहीं, because when you do it and you succeed, you feel very happy, right? तो आई थिंक बस अब मैं फिनिश करूंगी, लेकिन उसके पहले मैं एक छोटा सा एनेक्डोट आपको सुनाती हूँ। ये एक स्टोरी है, स्टोरी तो नहीं है, एनेक्डोट ही कहेंगे, और इट इज अबाउट एक्यूमुलेशन, कि हमें एक्यूमुलेट क्यों नहीं करना चाहिए नेगेटिव थॉट्स, अननेसेसरी इमोशंस, अननेसेसरी मनी, अननेसेसरी चीजें, और अननेसेसरी पोजेशंस, यू कैन नेम इट व्हाटएवर यू वांट टू। ये एनेक्डोट है कि क्या होता है, देयर वाज अ विलेज जहां पर एक लड़की थी, रहती थी अपने पेरेंट्स के साथ। She was extremely beautiful in her full youth. तो ये लड़की थाली में चावल लेकर साफ कर रही थी, and she was standing यू कैन से लॉन, जैसे हम लोग के घरों में लॉन है, अपने लॉन में साफ कर रही थी। उधर से एक व्यक्ति आ रहे थे who was supposed to be very learned, who was supposed to be very learned man of the learned, noble and very gentleman of that village, बहुत अच्छे जेंटलमैन माना जाता था। लेकिन क्या हुआ, I mean you all are mature, you can understand what I want to say, कि उस लड़की को देखकर थोड़ा सा उनका थॉट प्रोसेस डगमगा गया, थोड़ी नेगेटिव चीजें उनके माइंड में आ गई और कुछ उनका इरादा बदला। He was infatuated in the wrong sense। तो वो उसके पास गए और उन्होंने उससे कहा, तुम्हारे घर में कौन कौन है? उसने कहा, माता है और पिता है। स्टूडेंट्स प्लीज पे अटेंशन इफ यू आर इंटरेस्टेड, दिस इज द लास्ट थिंग आई एम टेलिंग यू। तो अच्छा ध्यान से सुनिएगा, बाद में क्वेश्चन आएगा कि माता कहाँ है आपकी, वेयर इज योर मदर? तो द गर्ल रिप्लाइज, माँ मिट्टी से मिट्टी को निकालने गई है। अच्छा, वेयर इज योर फादर? पिता कहाँ है? तो द गर्ल रिप्लाइज, माँ सॉरी पिताजी मिट्टी को मिट्टी में मिलाने गए। उन्होंने कहा, अच्छा और तुम कौन हो? She says, I am मिट्टी। और the learned man realized that I was wrongly infatuated। मुझे ऐसा नहीं करना चाहिए था, मेरे दिमाग में कोई भी नेगेटिव थॉट नहीं आना चाहिए था, और वो वहां से वापस चले गए। आप देखिए ऐसा हुआ क्यों? यहां पर आता है कि whatever you accumulate has nothing to do, you are no one। जब जब फर्स्ट बात उसने कही, माँ मिट्टी से मिट्टी को निकालने गई है, यू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट डिड शी मीन? शी मेंट दैट माय मदर इज अ नैनी, और वो एक चाइल्ड बर्थ के लिए गई हैं, किसी की डिलीवरी कराने गई हैं, मिट्टी से मिट्टी को निकालने गई हैं। दिस गर्ल वॉज वेरी सेंसिबल, और शायद उसने ये जवाब सारे इसीलिए दिए टू मेक दैट मैन रियलाइज दैट यू आर गोइंग टू डू समथिंग रॉन्ग। फिर आती है पिताजी की बात, मिट्टी को मिट्टी में मिलाने गए हैं। हर फादर हैड गॉन फॉर द फाइनल डिस्पोजिशन ऑफ द बॉडी, क्रिमेशन। मिट्टी को मिट्टी में मिलाने गए हैं, और जब उन व्यक्ति ने पूछा दैट हु आर यू, देन शी सेड, I am no one। ये ब्यूटीफुल शरीर, उसने कुछ नहीं कहा, उसने सिर्फ ये कहा, मैं मिट्टी हूं। सो कबीरदास जी ने कहा है कि मानव शरीर का निर्माण किससे हुआ है? हवा, अग्नि, जल, आकाश, मिट्टी से हुआ है। तो she wanted to convey this message that hey man, you are on the wrong path। I am no one but only the mitti। You are no one but only the mitti। This all gyan, this all knowledge, this all whatever we talk about comes from our Vedic knowledge। So you may not study it formally, but you study it in your home, in your peer group, in your society, by yourself। Sometimes students, by yourself you want to get evolved towards this journey, and you take it by your own thing। So नई चीज हमेशा अडॉप्ट करिए, न्यूनेस, गो फॉर न्यूनेस इन लाइफ, चाहे वो पढ़ाई के टर्म में हो, लर्निंग समथिंग न्यू, ईटिंग समथिंग न्यू, मेकिंग कुकिंग समथिंग न्यू, एनीथिंग यू वांट, बट न्यूनेस से कभी दूर मत होइए। क्यों? क्योंकि नवीन पर्व के लिए नवीन प्राण चाहिए, मुक्त मातृभूमि को नवीन मान चाहिए, नवीन पर्व के लिए नवीन प्राण चाहिए, मुक्त गीत हो रहा नवीन राग चाहिए, नवीन पर्व के लिए नवीन प्राण चाहिए। तो अगर जीवन में नवीनता चाहिए, न्यूनेस चाहिए, तो नवीन प्राण चाहिए। नवीन प्राण कहां से आएगा? When you will manage yourself, when you will evolve yourself। Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everybody.
Ma'am, it was wonderful.
I don't know.
The tongue has no bones, but it is strong enough to move a person's heart. And without a doubt, ma'am, your words motivated and moved each and everyone our hearts. That was indeed a very useful session for everyone, ma'am. Everyone got to learn a lot from these teachings and the thoughts you told us. We indeed are very fortunate and blessed to have heard your words of knowledge, experience, and wisdom. Someone rightly said, the master key of knowledge is indeed a persistent and frequent questioning. With this, I would like to open the session for all our audience to freely ask and share their queries on this platform. You can raise your hands or write it in the chat box in order to get an opportunity to speak. The stage is all yours.
You can take the questions and send me afterwards, right?
Ma'am, there is a question in the chat box. Should I read it out for you?
Yes, yes. No, I can read it. How to promote Vedic learning in today's world. This you have to do because I told you that we are not going for any formal sessions or formal education. But right now, since you are a student, Simran, I think, huh? So, you are already pursuing your
Yes,
program,
ma'am.
so it is not possible for you to go and learn. But when you will grow up, you can do it by yourself, or if you have time daily, you can spend 10 to 15 minutes, see whichever is of your interest, you can read and learn. I'm learning Sanskrit at this stage, so you can do that also at any age, 15, 20 minutes or 1 hour a week, right?
With this, we have reached the end of today's session. Thank you so much for all the questions and to our respected speaker to share with us such pivotal and versatile knowledge. I would like to thank Professor Dr. Kumkum Ray, our guest speaker, Professor Dr. Jayanti Srivastava, along with all the faculty, student coordinators, and a wonderful audience for this successful session. We hope that this workshop reshapes our perspective. The assignment has been posted. Please complete and submit it latest by 8 p.m. today. The assignments must be completed on time to be considered for certificates. Now we have reached the end of the 12th day of this workshop. Stay tuned as tomorrow, that is 26th July 2023, Ms. Alisha Sayedin will be speaking on theatre in education, narrative analysis on practice based on street theatre. We wish you all a productive and a blessed day ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, ma'am.